Hey guys, welcome back. Got a little Sylvie guide here for you, which I feel like I am fully capable of doing now because I've been absolutely grinding my little testes off these past few days, and my character is absolutely jacked and stacked now. I've experienced just about everything there is to experience in this game, I think. I played with good players, I played with bad players, and everything in between, so I think I've got some valuable insight that I can share with y'all, and I think it will really help, regardless of what skill level you are. If you're new to the game or experienced or really good at the game, doesn't matter. I think this guide will help out all of you all the same. Now, just an FYI, I have seen Method's YouTube guide on how to play Sylvie. I agree with a lot of it, but there's some gameplay and talent specific things that I disagree with, so I'm going to be going over that. And likewise, this video will go deeper into the gameplay aspect of things so that you know exactly what you need to be pressing at all times. And I'm not going to go into gearing too much. You can watch Method's video for that. And regardless, most of the gearing in this game is pretty self-explanatory until you get to Paragon League, where it starts to get a little bit messy. But it's not too bad. If you really want to know what I'm using, though, I've got the damage reduction relic and the self-heal relic. And then I've got the Dispel Trinket in my inventory just in case I need it. Then I use the Restore Life Legendary, which I'm pretty sure I just got really lucky to get so quickly. Hopefully you guys managed to get it quickly as well, because it's really good. In terms of stat priority and gems, I don't really think about it too much, since item level is king in this game, and you only really need to start min-maxing gems once you get into endless mode. So I wouldn't even worry about it, to be honest, if I were you guys. But if you want to know what I'm using, I take 2 yellow gems and go full red after that. Which is probably pretty retarded to do, but again, I haven't really put much thought into it all because I just don't think it matters too much. Anyways, to start off, I'll say that by far the most important thing about being a healer in this game is just having a strong mental. One of the major flaws with Mythic Plus as a system is that it crushes healers. It crushes tanks as well, technically. Like, they have a similar thing going on, but it especially crushes healers. The thing is, though, dungeons in general have kind of always had this problem, going all the way back to vanilla WoW. Tanks and healers have always had it kind of rough in dungeons with all the responsibility that those roles carry. But what the Mythic Plus system ended up doing is it took that problem and amped it up massively, which is not good for the game, but it is what it is. Now, the reason why healers specifically get crushed in this game is because as a healer, your mistakes get punished the hardest. If a tank or DPS player makes a positioning mistake, or they have a lapse in judgment, or they press the wrong spell at the wrong time, or they're pressing the wrong spells in general, or they mess up a mechanic and die, it's not nearly as likely to lead to a wipe. But as a healer, every mistake you make can very easily lead to somebody dying. And if you make a mistake on a boss and somebody dies, then it's almost certainly going to lead to a wipe, which will then also lead to a failed timer in most cases. So essentially what I'm saying is, unless you massively overgear all the content, which you can do, by the way, if you want to, but under normal circumstances, what's going to happen is you are going to wipe a lot. People are going to die a lot, and yes, it's going to be your fault, regardless of how good you are at the game. And the mentality you need to have to deal with that is just straight up not giving a fuck. That's the mentality you have to have. If you really want to start having a good time as a healer in this game, all you have to do, literally all you have to do, is just try your best. And whatever happens, happens. Do not let anything that happens affect you. Let's walk through some scenarios. You're healing a dungeon. The group gets too far ahead of you, and by the time you catch up, the tank dies and blames you, and then he leaves the group. Doesn't matter. Let's say you failed to meet one of the healing checks in a dungeon and the group wipes. Doesn't matter. A DPS misses an interrupt that causes you to get overwhelmed by damage and everyone dies. Doesn't matter. You died to a mechanic on a boss and the group wipes. Doesn't matter. The people in your group start talking shit to you, saying things like skill issue, or people with a lower item level have done this shit just fine. If people say shit like that to you, don't let it affect you. It doesn't matter. Tell them to go blow it out their mom's ass. That usually works for me. Both of those comments, by the way, have been said to me while playing this game over the past few days, and I consider myself a really good healer. Here's one more scenario that I've experienced multiple times at this point. If you're playing with a group of people and they're constantly pushing to do harder and harder dungeons that you don't feel like you're ready to heal at all, you know what you do? Just heal it anyways. Don't complain. Don't try to convince your group to queue easier dungeons, because a lot of the time nobody's going to give a shit if you're struggling or if you're stressed out. They don't care. Just queue up and try your best. Learn the dungeon at your own pace. That's all you have to do, and that's all you're ever going to have to do in this game. If you're not capable of healing the dungeon, then it is what it is. The group will learn the hard way that you can't do it, and they'll need to start queuing the lower level dungeons so that you can gear up. You cannot let any of these things bother you in this game, or you will literally burn out in a week. And at the end of the day, if you ever feel like you're being pushed too hard in this game, you can always just queue into a lower league and gear up by spamming the mega dungeon over and over. Alright, let's talk about Sylvie now. So for Sylvie, your gameplay loop for dungeons is going to be spamming damage and single target healing most of the time to deal with the high tank damage and random bits of damage on the DPS that they tend to take from time to time. Then, when the big AoE damage happens, you press cooldowns to deal with it. Alternatively, you can use your cooldowns to deal with high tank damage in certain instances if you feel like you need it, but try to avoid doing that if you don't have to. This gameplay loop of spot healing and cooldowning through the AoE dam is what you want to be designing your talent build around. And a lot of my opinions on talents are going to be different from what the method guide recommends, but I'm going to thoroughly explain why I pick each talent so that even if you disagree with me, you can at least understand the logic behind my decisions. So, in my opinion, these talents here are the most important to get as soon as possible, with Verdant Restoration being the first talent that you'll want to pick up. Why Verdant Restoration? Because you are going to be spamming single target healing with Restore Life a lot. So obviously we would want to buff our main single target heal. Natural Knowledge is required to pick up so that you have enough mana to sustain pressing Restore Life all the time. Nettle to the Petal is required to make your life petal ramp stronger, because in this game you need at least 2 ramps. I don't personally think that you need any more than 2 ramps, but 2 is the minimum. And what Sylvie has is she's got a Heart Bloom ramp and a life petal ramp. The problem is, life petal doesn't do enough healing on its own to be considered a proper ramp, so we need to juice it up with this talent so that its healing is on par with Heart Bloom. Another benefit of Nettle to the Petal is that it increases your mana efficiency a lot, because you don't have to spam Restore Life while life petal is active. Lastly, you have this talent here, Boom and Bloom Shrooms, which is the most controversial pick here. Why do I think this talent is required? Well, Sylvie's main weakness is that her spot healing isn't instant. Restore Life has a 2-second activation time. In a lot of situations, you need an instant heal to save somebody's life, and Restore Life just isn't going to cut it. Once you manage to get that weapon that has the spot healing spell, this one here, you no longer need to take the Broom and Shroom Booms talent. I still take it personally, like I've never actually spec'd out of it, but for you guys, just make sure that you take this talent at least until you get the spot healing weapon, because you need an emergency spot heal and Restore Life just isn't good enough. Now the method guide recommends a different weapon. They recommend this one here with the AoE heal effect. I tried that weapon, I honestly think it's crap. Sylvie doesn't really struggle with AoE healing, especially in late game when you've got all your talents, so I'm going to recommend that you use the spot healing weapon so that you can instantly heal someone in an emergency. And emergencies happen a hell of a lot in this game. Now there's 2 mandatory talents that I didn't highlight because you don't want to pick them up until you get into Champion League, but it's these 2 talents here. And you need to pick both of them up at the same time. Choosing one or the other is not going to work. The purpose of these 2 talents is to massively increase the healing of both of your ramps. So the way you would play it is, for ramp number 1, you would hold down the pink butterfly spell into life petal into spam damage. That's 1 ramp. And then your second ramp would be hold down pink butterflies again into Heart Bloom. That's it. And also you can kind of change the order of those buttons around depending on how quickly you need the healing, but the point is, both of those ramps are incredibly strong and will heal through any amount of damage that you'll need to deal with. Next up, we have the semi-mandatory talents. It's these 2 talents here. Trailing Restoration is kind of decent. The reason why it's not mandatory is because most of the time you're overriding your previous Restore Life hot with a new one. But in certain situations, you'll see benefit from taking this talent. And next you have Bluey's Gambit. That 5% damage reduction will help a lot since you'll want to be keeping your blue but since you'll want to be keeping your since you'll want to be keeping your blue butterfly on the tank most of the time. Only if you're expecting big AoE damage or high consistent AoE damage will you want to switch the blue butterfly to yourself. And lastly, we have the optional talents. These are the talents that you take when you can't take anything else. Every other talent that I haven't highlighted is crap, in my opinion. Now, the elephant in the room here is flower power. You might be surprised that I think this is a dead talent when everybody else says it's mandatory. But I'm going to tell you why. And admittedly, I've never actually spec'd into this talent before because I never felt that I needed to. So I could be wrong about this one, but let me explain. So there are two problems that I see with flower power. The first is that it makes your ramps uneven. You'll have one ramp where you press Life Petal and Heart Bloom at the same time, followed by a couple of Restore Lives. But then you'll have a second ramp, which will be Heart Bloom by itself, followed by Restore Lifespan. Your second ramp there is quite a bit weaker than the first one, and it's also very mana intensive. Alternatively, you could split up your ramps into 3 and do a Heart Bloom ramp, into a Life Petal ramp, into another Heart Bloom ramp, or any variation of that. But I don't see why you would ever do that since the cooldowns on Life Petal and Heart Bloom are already so short, which means you're always going to have one of them up when you need it, even if you don't take Flower Power. And also, you'd be churning through mana like crazy with Restore Life doing that strategy. Which leads me to the second reason why I don't like Flower Power. It's too mana intensive. If you're pressing Heart Bloom all the time, you gotta juice all those Heart Blooms up with Restore Life. Whereas if you take Nettle to the Petal instead, you'll have one Heart Bloom ramp, which is mana intensive, and then you'll have one Life Petal ramp that is extremely mana efficient. And you're also spamming Smart Healing the whole time, which is way more practical for a fast-paced game like this. So for those two reasons, I think Flower Power is crap. And I would only consider taking it if I had the Heart Bloom Legendary. But even if I had the Heart Bloom Legendary, I don't even know if I would use it over the Restore Life Legendary. Now, if you could wear 2 Legendary items in this game, and you could have the Heart Bloom Legendary and the Restore Life Legendary at the same time, well, now we're talking. In that case, I could definitely see Flower Power being good. But as it stands, I just don't see it. Maybe in super late game it's good if you need more raw HPS, but for the vast majority of the game, I think it's crap. Oh, by the way, don't take any talents that buff Safe Haven unless you have the Safe Haven Legendary. Safe Haven is mainly used as a last resort. I hardly ever use it, so there's no point in putting talents into buffing that spell, in my opinion. Anyways, I've talked about the talents, I've talked about how to ramp. Now I want to tell you how to properly heal outside of your cooldowns since it is a little bit finicky. What you're going to want to do is you want to try and maintain 2 pink butterflies on the group for the entire run. I recommend maintaining them on the tank and a melee DPS, but the tank is most important, obviously. Now the hard part about maintaining 2 pink butterflies is Restore Life. If you spam Restore Life, you're going to lose your pink butterflies. If you press Restore Life into Pink Butterfly, you're going to move an existing Pink Butterfly to someone else, both of which you don't want to be doing because you might accidentally pull your Pink Butterfly off of the tank. So what you have to do is, you need to wait 1 GCD after pressing Restore Life before pressing another Restore Life. And the same applies to Pink Butterfly. You don't want to do Restore Life into Pink Butterfly, you want to do Restore Life and to do damage into Pink Butterfly. However, this here is only relevant if you take the Flutter Swift talent, so just ignore that for now. Focus on this for early game. Don't spam Restore Life or you'll lose your pink butterflies. Do Restore Life into something else and then back to Restore Life. Later in the game, when you have all of your talents, there's certain instances where it's good to spam Restore Life right before you ramp, but I'm not going to go into that. The only time in early game where you actually want to spam Restore Life is if the tank is getting crushed or if the DPSs are getting crushed and you have no Shroom Blooms or Weapon Spot Heal available. That's it. Outside of those specific situations, just don't do it. So that's your gameplay loop outside of cooldowns. It's pretty easy. Just to recap, you got to maintain 2 pink butterflies, and when the tank is getting fucked or the DPS start taking damage, just press Restore Life and to do damage into Restore Life. If the DPS get bursted super hard, use bloom shrooms to pop their health up instantly, or use the spot heal weapon if you have it. I do a bit of both depending on the situation. Just try to avoid using bloom shrooms on a ranged player because they might not be standing close enough to the mobs for the damage to happen. And lastly, when you get overwhelmed by damage or you predict a big burst of AoE damage is going to happen, that's when you ramp. Or you combine your ramps together depending on the situation. It's up to you. But hey, that's it. That's the game. It's not too hard. It's just really fast paced, so you have to like think fast. Oh, and also try to save your ultimate ability for bosses so that you can ramp through the first high damage event, ultimate through the second high damage event, then ramp through the third high damage event. Anyways, let me show you some gameplay so that you can see what this looks like. Alright, here we go. So we're just finishing up this first pull here. This first pull was kind of sketchy, but it's alright. Anyways, so I got all these bloom and shroom booms lined up, ready to go for this pull. I got pink butterflies on both of these noobs. And I got the blue butterfly on the tanky poo and restore life on the tanky poo. And I'm kind of just chasing after him. There we go. Just restore life and to do damage and to restore life. And I pop my bloom and shroom booms right off the bat. But I keep some, like this is what I do, okay? So I pop my shroom and boom booms right off the bat, but I keep a little bit extra just in case there's like an emergency situation where one of the DPSers get rocked. So I need to use it on them. So I just keep a few kind of around, you know what I mean? But yeah, basically all I'm doing here is I spot heal with restore life on that guy and to do damage, and to restore life on this guy, do damage. Here we go. Okay, in this moment here, my dick kind of shrivels a little bit because I get scared. So this is where I do my ramp. So I press life pedal. Boom. Life pedal because I'm scared, and to do damage. That's the ramp. Life pedal, do damage. Do damage. See, and I'm smart healing through all this shit. Doing damage. Here we go. Okay, so the mage got fucked there. I immediately reacted with restore life, but I wasn't expecting him to get fucked again. So now I use my shroom and boom booms on him because I'm scared. And this is why you save some boom blooms for that situation in case one of the DPSs gets crushed like that. You use it as an emergency heal instead of restore life. I tried to click the campfire here, but this game is bad, so I can't click it. Okay, so I do the same thing here. Tank runs in, I pop my shroom and boom blooms on him. There we go. Keep some around just in case. There we go. The mage is getting fucked again because he's old and bad and washed and awful and I hate him. Just restore life, doing my ramp now because the mage is so awful and bad. Holy crap. Here's my, yeah, this is my life pedal ramp. Okay, just spam with smart healing. Let's go. Let's go. Now the smart healing is gone, so I go back to restore life and do damage. Meanwhile, I'm keeping the pink butterflies on this guy and this guy the entire time. Do you see that? I maintain the pink butterflies the entire time. That's what you want to do. And I wasted Heart Bloom there, but who cares? It's the end of the pull. I still can't click the campfire because this game is so bad, and everybody should just quit this game immediately. Now I'm just waddling after the tank because I wasted my speed boost trying to click the campfire. The tank is going in because he's bad and old, and I'm just waddling after him because I'm bad and old. Anyways, I do my shroom and bloom booms. Here we go. Keep some around for a rainy day again. Here we go. And this guy's about to get fucked. I get scared, so I press Heart Bloom. This is the Heart Bloom ramp here. Technically, you're supposed to use Heart Bloom first before using Life Pedal because they kind of like feed into each other. But sometimes I just use Life Pedal first because the heal comes out faster. It's better for when you're like terrified. But there we go. Heart Bloom healed through all that shit. So I just go back to restore life and the do damage and restore life. Alright. Except there's nothing to restore life because we're all full health. Alright. 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 Okay, next pull. Let's see. Tank goes in. Same thing. Shroom and boom booms. Bloom and broomin shrooms booms. There we go. You can also use the shroom and boom booms on the melee DPS as well. You don't have to only use it on the tank. Save some for a rainy day. I get terrified, so I use life pedal. This is the life pedal ramp. There we go. Still have Heart Bloom ready to go, and just in case. Not gonna need it though. Alright, easy peasy, nice. This pull, okay, this pull is really big. This pull is terrifying. Watch what happens here. This is terrifying. The tank runs in, pulls all this shit. I do not consent to any of this, by the way. Like, he pulled this and I did not consent. This is without my consent. But here we go. I do the Sherman booms. I'm getting fucked. Everybody's fucked. I'm scared. I use my ultimate. I use Heart Bloom at the same time because I'm absolutely terrified. Everything bad is happening right now. I am losing my mind. My dick is shriveled so far inside of my body at this point that it has turned into a vagina. I still have Life Petal. Here we go. I still have my Life Petal ramp. I got some Bloom and Shroom Booms ready to go. I use those. Actually, I didn't use those. I'm doing my Life Petal ramp. I'm terrified. Please use the AoE heal. Daddy. Thank you, Daddy. Use the AoE heal. Use Safe Haven because I'm absolutely terrified still. I use Safe Haven as last resort, remember. Still terrified. Spending my Bloom and Shroom Booms. Okay, there we go. Managed to heal through all that. That's what you gotta do. You gotta think quick. Anyways, do we do a boss now? Yeah, we do. Okay. Here's the boss. Same kind of thing. Keep this blue butter or whatever it's called. Keep it on the tank. I got a spike thing coming at me, so I run right to the middle of the room. I don't think I'm supposed to do that, but I don't care. I got a tantrum coming, but I don't even realize that it's coming, so I press Heart Bloom like 100 million years too late. But that's okay. Tank's getting fucked up. I still have pink butterflies on these two. Remember? Good. Continue to do that. That's why you like alternate between restore life and do damage so that these pink butterflies don't move around. And now I'm just restore lifing and doing damage, keeping the tank alive. Here we go. Keeping the tank alive. For some reason the boss keeps targeting me with this bullshit. Okay, I'm aware that this tantrum is happening, so I press life pedal immediately. That's good. I'm a good boy. I'm a good boy. Okay, Vortex is coming. What do? I go to the middle and what am I doing? Oh, I pressed my AoE heal. Okay, that was kind of a waste. Didn't really need to do that, but it's fine. If I had the spot healing weapon at this point, it'd be a lot easier, but I'm making it work with the AoE. The AoE heal weapon isn't actually that bad. It's like the second best in my opinion, or it's around there. Anyways, here's a tantrum. I don't have any cooldowns for this, so that, oh, I do. I have Heart Bloom. Okay. Never mind, that's okay. Okay, so we Heart Bloom through all that. Easy, go back to restore life and do damage. I press Iron Bark on the tank because I'm a dirty boy. I'm a dirty boy. I still have some Bloom and Shroom Booms. Don't feel like I need to use them right now though, so I don't use them. Keeping them around for a rainy day. We got another tantrum coming up. I'm gonna life pedal immediately because I'm a good boy. Nether bolt, nettle bolt, whatever it's called. Smart heal all this shit. Vortex is coming up. What do? What do? I got a whirlwind thing coming at me. I shoot it right at the puddle. Why am I standing in this puddle? This puddle's gonna kill me. Okay, I'm retarded. Okay, I'm panicking right now. I use my AoE heal. It goes off at the same time that I die. Okay, nobody saw that. Nobody saw that. Okay, I think, yeah, I don't know. I think my keyboard malfunctioned or something. That wasn't my fault. Okay, next slip. Okay, next slip. Next slip. Oh my god. Next slip. All right, here we go. Here's the last boss of Imperium Sands on Eternal 3 difficulty. Wow. Wow. That's crazy. That's crazy. Okay, what do we do here? So, pink butterfly on me, and, you know, it doesn't really matter at this point once you have this much gear, but whatever. Anyway, I'll go back to restore life on this, whatever. I don't even know what I'm doing anymore. Press my shroom, whatever. Okay. And nothing really happens in the face, just big tank dam. It's just a lot of tank damage. So you just kind of do damage and press restore life a lot. There we go, dodging this bullshit. Yeah. And this crap is happening. Alright, so here's the big burst. So what do I do to deal with this? I wait a second until the DPS kind of start to cook on one of the ads. And I press my Flutter Call heal. This will be once you've, you know, got all your talents and stuff. But I press my Flutter Call heal right off the rip. And then I press Life Pedal first. I probably pressed it a little too early, but that's okay. And then I do a little bit of damage, and then I press Heart Bloom. So you combine your ramps here. And now I just do damage to smart heal everybody while the Heart Bloom is pumping. And the DPS go around killing all this bullshit. And Heart Bloom, one more tick. Yes, yes. Okay, and then by this point, we should be okay. And I have a whole bunch of, do you see this? I have the weapon, the spot heal weapon. And I have a whole bunch of Bloom and Shroom Booms ready to go, just in case I need to do any spot healing. And doesn't look like I have to yet. There's going to be more explosions, so I take a little bit of damage. Okay, here we go. What do? I use my Shroom Booms, I use my spot heal, I use my other spot heal, I use Shroom Booms again. And the point of doing that is just to make sure that the pink butterflies stay on everybody as much as possible. I think I kind of messed up a bit, but yeah, it's fine. There's no AoE damage in this phase, so it's all good. Once you survive all the explosions, you'll be fine. And I still have my ultimate. I'm gonna use my ultimate on the next burst. The boss is dying extremely fast. For you guys that won't be dying this fast, you're gonna get 3 of these ad phases. That's what I usually get. I usually get 3 ad phases, but this time we're just blowing the boss up. Anyways, do the same thing. I do my AoE pink butterfly bullshit, and I use I combine my whatever together, and then I use my ultimate at the same time. So everybody's just gonna get completely crushed with healing right here. Like, look at all this healing. I just blew everything at the same time. So definitely not gonna die. And again, I got pink butterflies on everybody, and I have so much spot healing. I got the bloom shrooms, and I got this spot heal. So if any more damage happens, I can just spam spot healing. Here we go. Spam spot healing, I think. Yeah, weapon, shroom booms, daddy, shroom booms, daddy. Okay, I use safe haven and shroom booms. All right, that works. That works. Still have pink butterflies on everyone. This is why having the bloom shrooms talent is good, because you can just keep spamming spot healing while maintaining the pink butterflies on everybody. And yeah, that's about it. Pretty good stuff, huh? All right.